You can have all these great things going on, but if your awareness program has a lack of empathy, it's effectively dead in the water. Seriously, empathy is the biggest determinant of success or failure in a security awareness program. It doesn't come down to planning or lack of planning or executive support or lack of executive support or all those things. Those things are important, but the critical factor that you have to have is empathy. And lack of empathy plays out in, let's say, two ways for right now. Number one is content that doesn't resonate with your people. So it's boring, and content that is or feels irrelevant. So if you're not taking the time to find content that will keep your people engaged or show why they actually need to know that content in the first place, then you haven't really built the bridge that they need in order to kind of go across that and decide that they need to invest in it. So finding content that's not boring and finding content that actually connects the dots for them to show why this thing, why this policy, or why this concept actually means something within their lives. The other thing that you have to really have empathy in, and this is super serious, the other thing that you really need to have empathy in is any type of simulated phishing. And we've seen some examples of that over the past years. We're dealing with a global pandemic, and some organizations really, hopefully meaning to do the right thing, have had lack of empathy in the way that they've engaged their end users in phishing. There's a couple really big examples of these that made the news, but I'm not going to name names with this. But one of those was a newspaper that sent out a phish saying that that there's bonuses that are going on, and to click the link to get more information on it. Now, this is an industry, and specifically a paper, who had been having multiple layoffs, people experiencing financial hardship. You're in the middle of a pandemic, and things are really hard for lots of people. And so that lifeline of a little bit of extra money, super enticing. So it's a great lure from a phishing perspective, maybe not the best thing from a relationship perspective. And so that's where things broke down. They used the lure, but they didn't have the relationship that gave them the permission to use that lure in the first place. And so I think that's really what it comes down to for me when I think about all of this, is that empathy and relationship go hand in hand. And when you have the relationship, you've built the empathy, you understand your people, where they're coming from, that is going to guide you in the way that you select content, the way that you position that content with your people, and it's also going to guide you in the types of phishing exercises that you engage with. Because that same phishing exercise may have been fine if they had a great relationship with their people. And if they had before that said, hey, here are the things that we want you to be looking out for. These are the types of things that scammers are going to be taking advantage of. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be testing you on those things. So expect to see some of those in your inbox. And it's not because we want to trick you or shame you or make a bad situation worse. It's because we want to help prepare you and prepare our organization for the real threats that are out there. Because here's why that's important. And then you lay that out. And so if you're lacking in empathy, and if you don't have that relationship, your security awareness program is going to fall flat. Now, luckily, you have a chance to engage with your people now. Now is the best time. Your people are at home, many of them, that they are literally a captive audience. So take the time, build the relationship, invest in that, and then see where things go. You're going to be really pleasantly surprised at the way that your people can engage with you when you reach out and engage with them and you're genuinely interested in forging that relationship.